We are now on the work surface to make a handmade greeting card using the printable from the photographic image combination greeting card design. As we did in part 1, we've already designed the greeting card, and this was what we designed. I've printed it on a sheet and a sheet of paper, and we are going to make a handmade. For those that want to make handmade greeting card, we're going to make the handmade greeting card in part 2. That's this part of the video. And to make this greeting card, we need liquid glue. I'm using Uhu. You need scissors, sticky foam pad, 3D sticky foam pads, guillotine, alphabet dies. You can use any one you have. This is by Tattered Lace, and it's a shorter card of the shorter card design dies. You also need dies, ovals, and rectangles. You can use any one you have. And because we are using dies, we need die cutting machine. This is by Tattered Lace, but has been phased out. And because we are using die cutting machine or embossing machine, we need the cutting plates for the machine. This is for the grand caliber die cutting and embossing machine, but I'm using it for the Tattered Lace crossover die cutting machine. You need to use 3 boards together or cutting mats together so that it can feed through, and you'll be able to use setting 0 on the machine. We need cards, cardstock. You first of all need your base card. A4 card fold in half to make an A5 card in landscape. Depending on your choice of color, you need brown, yellow, and white. Going to do to mat and layer to create a nice edge, and it gives weight and design to our card to lift our designs when we are matting and layering. If you see the design here, you will see we used white, we used another color, green, and we used yellow. So that's what we want to create. You can see it there. Can see it here. So that's what we're trying to create using the other colors of card, just to give a nice border to it. We need the printable. There's a decoupage sheet. We're going to trim it, cut around each of just take about 2 flowers, or but if we desire to layer them, we can take more. We use it for the embellishment. And we'll cut our sentiment out of this. This is the first background design that we use for the frame. So we'll cut our design, we'll cut the frame, cut it in half on side for the frame, and we'll cut the sentiment from this. For the sentiment, I won't be using 10, so I'll just use high, so that will be fast. This is the topper sheet. We'll cut the rectangles from there. And then this is the basket weave design background. So I'll cut them now. Let's start cutting. I've already folded my card, scored and folded it to make an A5 greeting card. So we're going to work on the front. And we'll use this design as a guide. So I'll put that to the side. We'll get our guillotine and we're going to cut the frame. Using the background paper, the plain background, not the basket weave, going to cut on A5. And this, we're going to glue it to the front of the card. This is going to be the first, this is going to act for as the frame before we start layering. So I'm just going to glue this down. Make sure you don't put too much glue towards the edge of the card. If not, it's going to smear. It's going to come out and ruin your work. So what I normally do is put and make sure it's flattened. There's nothing, that the glue is not in heap, because I don't want the edges lifting, or I don't want the edges to lift. So working on the front of the card, just put this aside. Then we need to cut the other borders. I've not decided the size, so I'll just cut A5. I'll use brown first. Is it okay? No, that's white. Let me go first. It's white. Although I'm using hammered cardstock, you can use any one you desire. So I'm just going to trim. Okay, let me see. This was on the A5, that's on 14. It was on 15, right? Okay, it was on the A5. Okay, I'm going to remove about 1 centimeter from it. Let me make it 2. So I'll make this on 13. And from this one, let me see the size. It's about 21.8. So I'll make this 20 or 19.8. I think 19.8. So that I remove 2 centimeters from this one. So I've removed 2 centimeters from the end, from the edge, so that when I put it on about 1 centimeter around, I'll take the brown, if there's an A5, I remove 2 from this, so I'll remove 1 centimeter from, so I'll make this one 12. Make it 12 centimeters. And that one on 19. On 19.8. So I'll make this one 18.8. I'm just trying to remove 1 centimeter from each and every one to give me, okay, that's fine. And we need the yellow, that's 18.8. I'll make this one 17.8. And oh, I think I missed it. Okay. Let me put it again. 17.8. And here it's going to be, I can't remember what I used for this one. To bring this one back. Okay. So I'll make this one 17.8 first. Okay. Then I want to see, this one's about 12. Okay, so this is going to be 11. Just want to put it rightly, don't want to make it too small, so I'll put this on 11. Sorry. So we've removed 1 centimeter around. Okay, make it point, would have made it 0.5, but it's all right. We need to glue them down. So I'll quickly just push this aside and quickly glue. When gluing, always put the glue on the smaller card. This will enable you to know exactly where the glue is, where you want the glue to be. And you'll be able to create your nice borders. So I'll put on the brown now, because the brown is smaller than the white. I'm not having enough on that edge. I'm just going to put, I don't want the card to lift. Then I'll glue it to the front of the pattern. Hope I'm not doing this wrong. Just want to bring okay, now it's time for us to do the background. Just going to cut the background out. So this, I'm using the woven the basket weave background design. So I'm going to make this, I made that one 11. So I'll make this about 10.5. By, I think that was 17 or so. I just want to measure. That is 10.5. I have to try and remember. I can't remember. Let me see if it will pass, and I'll count measure that one. That's why it's good to have your measurements. I'll make it 16.5 first and see if it's hope it's not too small. Okay, it fits. So 10.5 by 16.5. No, I think it's too, no, it's not right. I made a mistake. So I'm going to use this other one. Hope I don't make any mistake. I don't have any other 10.5. This one first, 17. So I'm making this 10.5. All right, it fits. So here we have it. Let me glue it down and we'll cut the topper. So our card is coming. We need to cut the topper now, and for that we'll need our die cutting machine. And so I'll bring in the die cutting machine. Just take this off. So for the top, I'll snip one. What else do we need? For the topper, we need the rectangular dies. So I'm going to use this one. We have to pass it 3 times. So we need to place it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try and make good use of this. Let me put the machine aside. I'm trying, since I need to play, I have just one size of this, small size. I need to put it right. I need to put it 3 times. So what I'm going to do, just going to place it like so here. Let me place it. Second one will be here, third one will be here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this. I'm cutting the word high. So I'm just going to do something. Trying to make good use of time. At the same time, just wind once. Then for this one, I'll need a white card to cut this topper. Let's see. I think I'll have to wait for this. This is too big, so I'll need a small one. Let me just cut it up. Alright, so I'm going to place it. Some people do stick it down, but since I don't have any particular design that I want to cut out, like, I'm just going to put it. And I'm using setting 0. So arrange it, make sure it's lined properly. Cut this one. We're going to cut it again thrice, 2 times more, and we've cut the sentiment of the word. We also cut the topper. So I'll put the topper to one side. This time when I'm cutting, just gonna trim this one off. I don't want to use it, but if you have something like this, you can use it as a stencil. You can even use it in front of a card as an aperture. All right. No, I don't need this. So I'm going to place this again, like so. Going to cut the second one, and this time I'll be cutting. Oh, I need an extra card. White. Okay. Put this one white. Okay, I can cut. Okay, no, I can't. Trying to see if I can. I can do something. Here's my design. So I'm gonna need this one. So I'll make one white and okay. What I'm going to do is I'll omit one design for. Okay, I'm going to cut it like so for this. The other one I'll cut white and I'll cut brown. Going for the third one. Glue on my fingers. Dried glue. All right. So okay, let me bring this one out from there. I'm not going to create I'll just glue this to the front. I don't need to make a shadow. I'll just glue the letter to the front, the letters to the front. If you want to make a So I just glue the letters to the front. You can cut the letters too in contrast color or in a contrasting color, and then layer the letters with the pattern paper. We've done that in the previous one. I think that was in typography. So now I'm just going to layer this. We have our embellishments here. I've cut them out. We're going to layer that too. So I'll quickly layer this. If you want to use foam pads, that's fine, but I'm not using foam pads for this topper. We've done the topper. Just want to see it matches. Okay. This from this. I don't even know which one is which anymore. Let me get the. So this is the pattern, the topper. Okay. Okay, that's how it is. So I'll put this one. I'll just go randomly. Just go up. Down, you don't need to be straight. You just need to just move it around. You can glue down, you can use foam pads, but I'm using glue. So I'll glue the two ends, and I'll glue the two on the ends first, then I'll glue the middle one after that. That helps you to create an equal distance. So just put this in the middle. So now we have this. Just want us to go closer. This is the front of our card. Though it's a little bit different from these, but we still got along well. We've already done the topper. I'm just going to place it. Topper, you can use foam pads. You can use. So I'm just going to place foam pads on it. If you want to, you can use foam pads or you can use glue. So for the embellishment, okay, let's see it. For the embellishment, I'm just going to coil the paper around the edge of the scissors. This is going to make it to create a kind of dimension. If you want to, you can cut into them, you can cut into each of the flower, lift them, and to create other dimension. You can go in with a craft knife just to create some lifting and just put some so that they come out as they are not that kind flat. If you want to do that, let me just do something like what I'm explaining. You can just cut into it. Although I'm using scissors, you can use craft knife. You just cut into them and you can create a kind of lifting. So when you do it to a lot of them, you see it. Then you coil this flutter part or this fluttering part. You coil it up a little, not too much, just a little, and it will be as if the flower is coming out of the page. You can do that. So not to take too much time. Don't have I have here. Okay. I'll just go with this one first. Perhaps when we are doing series 2 or so, I'll get ready for that. So I'll put foam pads at the back. I'm just going to cut some out of this one. And then we'll layer. And get it off first. Just take 12 out of it. So here's our card. We've finished it. And this So here's our card. This is the one we designed now, we made now. We did high, and this was the one we made on the designed on the computer. And you can see that it stands on its own. It's quite heavy due to the matting and layering we did. Thanks for joining me for this video of 12 crafts of card making, technique of digital craft, a focus on photographic card used in this combination design as a frame, background, topper, typography, and embellishment greeting card design. Series 1 comes to an end with this card, and I just want to tell you thank you for this series. For series 2, as this greeting card ends season 1 of 12 crafts of card making, technique of digital craft, focus on photography card, we'll be bringing season 2 next, and season 2 we'll be working with stencils. I'll be using the plaid stencils for this. I've not decided the exact design to use, stencil design to use, but these are the stencils we'll be using. I'll just pick maybe one of them or two and we'll work with those two. So until next time, happy greeting card designing. Have fun. You can visit the blog anino.ogunjobi.com to see what's happening in the crafting industry. Until then, bye for now. Thank you.